Hey, everyone. I need your help.
Are you okay?
No. I need to get out of a toxic relationship.
Hello, Renfield. And you
Dracula needs Renfield.
abandon me!
And Renfield has needed a purpose.
I mean, I just haven't thought about any of my needs in years.
You're the one with the real power.
This is one of the best written scenes about what a codependent relationship with a toxic abuser looks like.
It is essentially a perfect scene.
That's inherent in the novel, but it's not like they're using those words for it yet.
I'm the real victim here!
How do I get out? And it comes down to drawing boundaries and standing up for your needs, but as we see, it's a lot easier said than done.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cinema Therapy. My name is Alan Seawright. I am a professional filmmaker who needs therapy. As always, I'm joined by...
Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies.
And today we have a very special guest, one of my personal storytelling heroes. This is a little hint. It's not a hint, that's his name. It's Robert Kirkman.
Holy crap.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. This is awesome. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you, Robert. So, you are the producer of this movie, Renfield, and it's also, there's a story by credit, or like, it's your idea, but it's not based on a graphic novel that you wrote, correct?
Correct. Yeah, no, that means that I wrote a roughly 15 to 20 page document, and then
Okay.
I got a buddy of mine named Ryan Ridley to do all the hard work and turn it into a screenplay.
And your story is so brilliant. And watching this from a psychological perspective, the exploration of escaping a relationship with a narcissistic abuser, you wouldn't normally pair that with a movie that's as fun as this is. And you think that if you did, you would like...
They'd be at cross purposes.
Yeah, you think that you'd totally bungle the tone, but it doesn't.
It's the most wholesome, gory, disgusting...
I've heard the threat in real life that I'm going to rip your arms off and beat you with them, but this movie actually gave it to me as a visual to treasure forever.
Yeah, I was really happy with how that was pulled off. Oh, good God, I did not do that on purpose. Oh,
You're on
Lord.
our show. You do dad jokes. It
Hey,
just happens.
Not only welcomed, but encouraged.
This is really embarrassing. I don't enjoy being on this show.
Sorry, you're already here.
There's nothing you can do now. We got you for another 30 minutes.
Hey guys, watch this.
No! Oh, there goes the whole episode. Awesome.
Let's check it out.
Great.
Which brings us back here. In the meantime, I come here and listen to these poor souls talk about their monsters.
You were talking about Mitch. What?
I know this is like way down the list of bad stuff, but he's also really into ska.
The kind of music.
Yes. Fishbone, Mustard Plug, Voodoo Glow Skull.
Hate that shit.
I'm so sorry, Caitlin. Mark, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Is that the one that's 99% horns?
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking.
No, that's a huge oversimplification of ska's innovative contribution to music. Oh my God, who am I?
Okay, I feel so called out by this because I was in 2 different ska bands in high school.
Swallowed a bug. Unintentionally.
What other way is there to...
Would you like to share your story?
No, thank you. I don't think you'd understand.
I know it's scary. And you think things are never going to change. But I promise you, one day you're going to realize that you can have the life that you want.
Yeah, Brandon Scott Jones was so great
In
in
the
this.
meantime, I just
He's
hope you get something
Unbelievable.
out of comedy.
Everybody in the group, like the actors are so good.
Man, that's great.
So the writing is so sharp, and it's so banter heavy, and I don't even mind because the ratio of zingers to misfires is off the charts. In fact, there may be misfires. I don't remember them. I just remember.
I don't think there
giggling.
are any.
Yeah.
It's so well, and all of the. I don't know how involved you were as a producer in the casting,
Sure,
Robert,
yeah,
but the casting of the group is just you just got a murderer's row in there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like Bess Rouse is killing it. Brandon Scott Jones is incredible in everything. Jenna Cannell blew me away. She's like every shot she's in, she just walks away with the entire scene.
Yeah.
Swallowed a bug. Unintentionally.
What other way is there to?
She's so funny.
Oh, it was really great. I wish I could take all the credit for it. The producers worked as a team with Chris McKay,
Sure.
assembling this team, and we really just lucked out. I mean, everybody, brought their A game and just really delivered.
So to the point of your story treatment, Renfield is Dracula's assistant and has been for 90, 80, 90, 100 years, whatever it is. And he realizes he goes to this group on people who are trying to get out of or recover from being in a relationship with a narcissist. And the reason he goes to the group, I hope it's not too big of a spoiler, I don't think it is he's looking for victims for Dracula because Renfield's a decent guy and he doesn't want innocent people to suffer. So he's actually there to hear the terrible stories and then to track down the abusers and feed them to Dracula.
The narcissistic abusers and get them eaten.
No, he gets to sit in a group and hear these intimate details of these horrible things that these people are doing to the people in the room. And, he's like, oh, okay. It's like he's like just kind of observing a menu. Like, oh, that guy's bad enough. Oh, that guy's bad enough.
Right. This does happen. A lot of, you go to group or you go to individual therapy and you have insights that you weren't planning on having, right? A therapist will say, okay, what's the presenting problem? And then what comes up along the way that may actually be the real problem. Renfield thinks his presenting problem is, I need food for my master. His actual issue is, my master is abusive to me and I don't have a life or a self or a voice. What I want to ask you, because this is a brilliant story idea, where did this come from? Do you have a history of being in relationships with narcissistic abusers? Know people who do? Like, where, or is this just...
Jonathan, he's a storyteller in Hollywood. Yes, he does.
Okay.
Yeah. Where to begin? Look, the original, genesis of this idea was trying to find a different way into a Dracula story. And so that hit upon the Renfield character, and Renfield as this subservient person that's doing Dracula's bidding. And in analyzing that relationship, I started thinking there's a natural toxic codependent relationship that's just kind of inherent in the novel, but it's not like they're using those words necessarily for it yet. Right. I think that a lot of these elements I have to give credit to Ryan Ridley. I think that, Ryan Ridley, has done a tremendous amount of research and, as a writer in Hollywood has probably had more Dracula Renfield-like relationships than I have. It's entirely possible that
I love this. Let's keep going.
Hey, everyone. I need your help.
Are you okay?
No. I need to get out of a toxic relationship.
Okay. Well, take a seat and...
Nicholas Holt's delivery on toxic relationship.
Yeah.
I died laughing. Just
so
those
great.
2 words.
By telling us what brought you here in the first place.
I was on the job for my boss.
Holt is so good in these scenes.
Well, I was actually following Bob.
You just really feel for him, and it's amazing what he's able to do with his body and everything.
Friend?
Yeah, he's so talented.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I started to hear all of your stories, and they're all so sad.
That's us.
For the first time in years, I felt like I wasn't alone.
You realized you're a codependent.
Mm-hmm. I need to change. I can see that I need to change, and I want to. But my boss, he's pretty delusional, I think. He thinks he can take over the world.
He's a narcissist, Renfield. We all know exactly how you feel.
Yes. No, he's different.
You can't get him out of your head.
No.
Oh, you feel like he could kill you with the snap of his fingers.
Yes. Wouldn't even need to snap.
He controls rats with his mind.
I love that as a throwaway joke from... He could do that in the book, right?
See, 101. A narcissist will take full advantage of a codependent's low self-esteem.
Yes.
You're the one with the real power.
Also
and
true.
All you gotta do is take it back.
How do I do that?
Focus on your needs.
We'll touch on that.
Thought about any of my needs in years.
But if you were to stop focusing on his needs, what would happen?
If I don't...
Yeah, what would happen? Stop focusing on his knees. What happened?
He won't grow to full power.
Exactly. He won't grow to full power. What? That's so weird. Why would you phrase it like that? But yes, he's right. He's
Such a
absolutely
brilliant,
right.
good
Best
moment
delivery.
of like,
Full power.
you know, you're really feeling empathy for this guy, and then Brandon Scott Jones just comes in and murders you with a joke.
You will be the one who grows to full power.
Full power.
I'm going to go to
I
full
want to hear
power.
you say it. Say, I'm going to grow to full power.
I'm going to grow to full power.
I heard you say it, but I didn't believe you.
Nope.
Let me hear you say it again.
I'm going to grow to full power.
I see a smile there because you like it. Now say it like the world needs to hear it.
I'm going to grow to full power.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
I just love how he adopts the terminology of full power immediately. Like he goes from,
Yes.
oh, it's a weird way to put it, to like just completely owning it. That was something that Ryan did that was just brilliant.
Jono, A, I can see you doing that in session. Like, weird, but okay, we're gonna roll with it.
Absolutely.
And B, yeah, I was very curious on that exchange. How much of that was Ryan, and how much of it was the actors on the day? Was this very much a like stick to the page, or was there a little bit of improvisation? Or
I feel like there was there was definitely a little bit of improvisation where McKay would, Ryan was on set as well, and McKay would, he'd have Ryan sitting there and he'd be like, I need 7 different
can we get some
alternates
alts?
for this. And so then he would just like, while we were filming, go, okay, now say this instead. Okay, now say this instead. So, which isn't necessarily improvisation, but then the actors would also kind of play around and stuff when we were in those modes after we had gotten the take and we were kind of like adding to things.
Get it to the script and then branch out from there.
Yeah. So, and I can't remember which bits and bops exactly were ad-libbed.
Well, I'm sure you guys shot this like a year ago.
Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah.
So going back to the scene, just touching on the psychology of it, he talks about codependency, right? And codependency is defined as one person needs the other person and the other person needs to be needed. And I would, at least my judge on this is that Dracula needs Renfield. There's all these things that he has Renfield do that he can't do for himself, or he's too proud to do for himself, or they're not practical because he'll burn in the sun, things like that. And Renfield has needed a purpose. And what Dracula has fed him for decades is, I am your purpose, right? I am the meaning of your life. And he actually says something to that effect in a scene we're going to watch in a second. And when the group facilitator says,
focus on your needs.
That's how you take back your power. Or that's how you rise to full power, right? What's the phrase? Is it rise to gain full power? Reach full power?
I think he won't gain full power. I don't. Who knows? I've only seen this movie 400 times.
That's how you reach full power.
He won't grow to full power.
What? That's so weird. Why would you phrase it like that?
Is by focusing on your needs. And that's the thing that people always ask. They say, okay, I've been in this long enough that I recognize that I'm in a relationship with a narcissistic abuser, be it romantic or familial or work or whatever. But how do I get out? And it comes down to drawing boundaries and standing up for your needs. But as we see, it's a lot easier said than done.
You'd like to get a bite to eat.
Hello, Renfield.
I'm sorry, just the sweater.
Please, come in. Close the door.
Vampires have to be invited in, and there it is.
I love that the mythology of vampires it's so prevalent that you can just do a gag like that without explaining it.
Yeah, you don't even have to explain it. Everybody gets it. It's so good.
So Renfield's got his own apartment. He's trying to leave the relationship.
That's a no. As to you bringing me my dinner tonight? No?
No, not a no.
No, not no.
Big yes to dinner. A feast, a full feast, Master. In fact, I'm so glad you're here. I was actually
Nicolas Cage is off the charts.
Yes, but I had
in this
too
movie.
many bodies.
Oh, you have bodies.
Yeah, too many. Well, so many bodies.
I always have fun watching Nick Cage, and this is the most fun I've had watching him since Raising Arizona.
He's really been playing up. Anyway, the plan
just
is
bananas.
Everything with his hands,
that
it's
way
so
I'll be
great.
able to get all the bodies. You know what? It's so silly, but you don't have to worry. And I won't bother you with my problems.
No. Please.
And I mean, credit to Holt on this too. Like, Nick Cage is off the charts crazy in this scene, but Holt is playing it all believably, but also cartoonishly. It's so good.
Yeah, he says he's drawing upon Anne Bancroft from The Graduate for this sequence. Like he has all these like crazy pulls that you would never expect for him to take as inspiration. It's pretty amazing.
Anything you could do would hurt.
Okay, let's watch this because I want to talk about this.
Yes, for sure.
It's all right. It's all right. No, let me explain something to you, okay? I was wrong about you. I should have realized what you were capable of when you were so eager to join me.
I don't think I was eager. I think that you caught me at a low moment and you maybe manipulated me.
No. I used my power for a lot of things, but I didn't need to use it on you. You were a lawyer who wanted to get rich off a real estate deal. You're the one who used me. You used my power because you're a husk. An empty void that nothing can fill. The only thing that gave your life any meaning was my power. The power you used to bring me victims while you pretended to be one yourself. However, I'm the real victim here. I'm the one you swore to protect. And you abandoned me!
That's not true.
Just like you abandoned your wife and your daughter.
And that's where it turns. Like, he plays it funny, but it's also...
Look into your own eyes, Renfield. You're the monster.
It's such brilliant manipulation. It's so well written.
And so true to what really happens.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because Nicolas Cage is hilarious, not because it's funny. Like, the abuse is funny.
That's enough.
What?
What? He's like expecting a Bible or a cross or something.
I will no longer tolerate abuse. Stop laughing. I deserve love. I deserve happiness.
You deserve only suffering.
I know being undead. It's a painful existence. It is. And I empathize with
Oh,
your pain.
please, illuminate me. Let me learn from you. I will find everyone you have ever loved, and I will drain them. I will reduce this.
So now he's threatening them.
Studio apartment?
Studio apartment.
Studio apartment.
Affirmations. I'm enough. And I deserve some happiness. There is some other stuff that I had to say.
Put these ideas in your head.
Ruh-roh.
Of course.
And now he's off to the group.
And there's your budget-friendly exit.
Hey man, don't point that stuff out.
Okay.
Listen, it is just as effective to have a really great sound effect as it is to spend 50 grand to have, you know, whatever your VFX company is, turn him into a bunch of bats that fly away.
I'd argue that it's more effective because you've seen that transformation so much, but then you picture it, and it's so much better in your head. It's almost like a novel.
Yes. Especially with what everything Nicholas Hoult is giving you there.
This is one of the best written scenes I've ever seen about what a codependent relationship with a toxic narcissistic abuser, what that looks like. Like that is
Wow, okay.
No, it is, and it's deceptive because it's so funny.
It's so funny.
Like the jokes land, but Nicolas Cage always brings it no matter what he's in, but this is sometimes the movie isn't worthy of him, and this absolutely is. It is like a perfect
the writing
show.
comes up to Nick Cage, right?
Yes, it is such a great showcase, and so just like Alan and I just laughed to tears before the shoot, just talking about him like sipping his cup and going, yes,
yeah,
no, not no, but starting with the manipulation and starting with the "you're worthless without me, I give your life meaning," and turning it on you're the one who I'm the victim. You're just pretending to be the victim, right? I'm the actual victim here, and turning on the other person and putting them on a guilt trip and blaming their own behavior on the abused it's so accurate. And then when that doesn't work, right? It's Nicholas Hoult is cowering, but it's so true to the experience of people in this situation. They're dealing with someone who has years, even decades of practice in bullying and manipulating, and they're just now standing up for themselves for the first time, and there's not a lot of power behind it, right? And the film, you'll have to see the film, folks, to see what happens, but that's kind of like the arc. Is him rising to full power, right? But in this moment, how do you stand up to a toxic, narcissistic abuser? It's really hard because they'll manipulate you, they'll turn you into the bad guy, and then when that doesn't work, if you keep pushing, they will threaten you or the people you care about, right? Everyone you've ever loved, I will drain them of all their blood, right? I mean, this is exactly the sequence that it follows, and it is so hard to get out of it. And that's my one critique on the group scene. Not that it's unrealistic or that it doesn't serve the film. It's that person leading that group, it's a little bit more than the platitude of stand up for your needs and have a voice. Because there's what does that look like in the moment is a lot more layered and would need the guidance of a skilled therapist. But the principle is sound, right? Anyway,
I mean,
fantastic.
I think that, that scene was, it's kind of the centerpiece of the movie. And I think it's the greatest. Yeah, I mean, on acting alone, I think it's the best scene in the movie. It was something that, Ryan Ridley did a tremendous amount of research, like finding all the ins and outs of, that toxic codependent relationship and all that interaction that you're talking about. And it was something that McKay, he was very adamant that we had to be respectful to the situation of codependent relationships and dealing with codependent relationships and make sure that all of those things worked. It didn't make it through the edit, but it was originally written to have actual title cards that gave you what was in the book and the step-by-step, like how to get out of a narcissistic relationship.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And like when Renfield is saying, I know it's hard being the undead. Like there was going to be a title card that was like, try to be understanding with them. And then when he backs into the corner, there was going to be a title card that said, don't let them back you into a corner. And it was going to be like cutting back and forth. So I think the reason that the scene is so by the book and is so sound, therapy-wise or whatever, is because it was kind of built on those guidelines. But unfortunately, the way cutting away from the actors and everything, it just didn't work in the edit, so we had to lose that stuff.
Yeah.
As it plays in the film, it is essentially a perfect scene. I mean, no scene is perfect, right? You can always spend time tweaking, but this is as close as any filmed scene I've ever watched to perfection.
I think the whole scene is just heightened 10 times by the way Cage delivers the word husk.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite moments in the
I
movie.
saw you losing it.
You're a husk.
The one that gets me is the no. Like,
yeah.
The fact that all three of us had a separate thing that Cage was doing that got us.
Yeah.
Is just like, he's given you so much.
For our fans who are watching, I mean, this is highest recommendation from both Alan and I. We had such a blast with this. But the arc of Renfield does trace a bit of what this is going to look like in real life, because it's not just about standing up for yourself or speaking for your needs, although that is a crucial part of it, and he does that. It's also about surrounding yourself with the right people who help buoy you up and give you power, from the groups to his relationship with Awkwafina, his friendship. Like, we haven't even touched on that. She's brilliant in this. Their chemistry is fantastic. I mean, there's not a moment in this film that I'm like, this is a wasted scene, or this is, it is, Alan loves Pixar and Edgar Wright screenplays for being these clockwork screenplays and these stories. And when you have that here, everything is just laid out so neatly and so perfectly. And it was just fun. I mean, it was, I laughed literally till I cried multiple times. And then when I groaned at the gore, I was still giggling through it. And I'm like, what is happening to me? I don't like gore. And I'm laughing,
we got you.
You did. So if you're watching this and you're not a gore person, I loved it. I think you'll love it. The characters are fantastic. The comedy is hilarious, and the psychology of it is really sound.
Maybe don't take your like 8-year-old to see the film, but you know.
I think you should. I think you should. I think the 8-year-old will learn some things. But this is a movie that teaches you that if you need to get out of a toxic, narcissistic, codependent relationship, you might need to rip some arms off and fight with them in order to do that.
Yes.
Listen, it's a lesson we all need.
So until next time,
I need to get out of a toxic relationship.
You're a husk.
Yes. What? Why? That's so weird. Why would you phrase it like that?
And watch movies.
What is this?
That's Doug, I believe.
Doug is trash! You're feeding me trash!
I'm sorry, Master.
This one doesn't even have a head!